Our next trip will have to be
Freedom Place.
Freedom Place. Tell us about that, just in the interest of letting folks know what's available.
Freedom Place is a apartment building that we just opened up in October for our Men in the Hero program. We have 50 of the rooms, brand new facility, single man rooms, brand new furniture, workout room. We've got a nice community room with a TV there for them. We try and do a lot of the group therapy sessions in there, and the men, moving from Washington Avenue where they used to be to this facility, it's been a huge change. The guys seem to really be a lot happier, open up a lot more. The therapy seems to be going a lot better. It's been a great move, fantastic move.
And I just want to make sure we have talked about just kind of the awareness of what's available. What do you want people to know before you leave here tonight?
Well, I know when I transitioned out, like I was saying before, I was inundated with a lot of information. Clearly, when you're getting ready to get out, you're focused on just that, getting out. You have all this coming at you, these different programs. You're tuning a lot of it out. You're ready to move on with your life and get going. What I have seen with the VA, with the vet centers, which is kind of the hidden secret, I think, is they've provided a means. They have what they call the readjustment counselors. They're able to go out there, reach out to the veterans, explain to them the different programs. I was fortunate enough to talk with those guys, and I'm able to bring that information back to my guys. Being a veteran myself, there's still programs out there that I'm unaware of that I'm freshly learning about. So it's nice to be able to have them as a great resource for our program, and that's the East St. Louis Vet Center.
And it's not always a program, sometimes it's an opportunity. Is that fair? That the returning serviceman or woman needs? Well, tell me, the mission continues, it's almost in the name right there. Why is that word mission, why is that so important? What is it about a person who either volunteers to serve, or the characteristic or the personality traits that they develop while serving? What do they need when they come home?
One thing I'll tell you is that it felt so good when I came home, and the first time we landed on U.S. soil, we had so many Americans there, and they were so enthusiastic and so great. They hugged us and they shook our hands, and that was really nice, but it lasts for just a second. And so what's great about being at the Mission Continues is we think that it's important to say thank you to our service members. It's so important, because the guys that went before us, they didn't get that thank you. But at the same time, we believe it's so important to let them know we still need you. And that's the critical part. If I could impart anything on our viewers today, it's important to thank our veterans, but it's so important to let them know we still need you. And so at the Mission Continues, we give veterans that opportunity to continue that service, to find that new outlet. And so I'll tell you, in the military, it doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're sweeping dirt in Afghanistan, or it doesn't matter if you're managing millions of dollars of materials or many people. You know that you're contributing to a greater mission. You know that you're doing something extremely important. And when we come home, we don't always have that opportunity. That opportunity is not always there to make that difference. But the Mission Continues, what we've seen is that through community service, we're able to engage veterans in opportunities to make that difference in their communities.
Give them a mission.
Absolutely, absolutely. A great example, just 2 weeks ago, we were down the street in Ferguson. We were in Ferguson at Little Creek Nature Reserve, and it's a nature reserve owned by the Ferguson-Florissant School District. So we had brought 80 veterans into town from all across the country to the start of their Mission Continues fellowships, or as the start of their platoon leadership with Mission Continues. And we brought some local veterans together, and they went to this Little Creek Nature Reserve in a community that's in dire need of love from our community. And they helped to build planter boxes. They built outdoor classrooms. They painted. They built boardwalks around the ponds. We pulled out honeysuckle. We planted 200 trees. And we did this so that we could show the Ferguson community, so we could show the St. Louis community, so that we could show this country that we're ready to make a difference.
Something kicks in when you're given a mission?
Absolutely, and that's our mission. And so through our Mission Continues service platoons, where all across the country, teams of veterans can come together and answer that call, continue their service. They can serve with teams of veterans to attack a unifying mission in a community, to address that mission, to attack that problem, and at the same time improve their own lives.
Do you also need help translating your skills?
Sure.
Because you've learned things that most of the population never will about yourself and actual skills.
And that's where we have a program at St. Patrick's Center. It's HVRP program, and that's one of the things they do. It's an employment program, is bringing our homeless veterans in there and helping them take these infantry skills and transferring those into civilian jobs. And we've seen a lot of success with that. It's given them the purpose that, hey, you may have swept dirt in Afghanistan. You have leadership ability.
Right.
You have you know, a lot of background with being able to maneuver through different areas. You know, it's kind of, you're in the military, you're given that I can take charge of any situation. So, you know, we see a lot of our guys, we're, you know, pushing them into those or getting them into these jobs where they're able to have that ability to have a purpose, have a leadership role, and be able to do something constructive.
Absolutely.
Not just surviving
And I
out there on
think
the
it's
streets.
restoring that hope. I think when people sign up, volunteer for the military, they believe they have something to contribute. And sometimes when they come home, they hit a bump in the road, and then they feel like they don't have anything to contribute. So at the Salvation Army, we've really focused on restoring that hope. We believe in the veterans that we serve, and we believe that with a hand up, that's all they need, and they will get back, you know, on their mission, their purpose, and giving them the language to show the world I have transferable skills, leadership skills. I'm regimented, I'm disciplined, you know, I'm dependable. I'm all those things that an employer would want. So, you know, we believe in the veterans that we're serving, and we've shown good success, you know, in
and I
helping
think
them to do that.
Kimberly and I have probably seen it a lot with the substance abuse. The guys
Definitely.
come back, they self-medicate, their sense of purpose, they feel worthless. You know, and it's up to us, all of us, to, like you said, welcome them back home.
We've spent a lot of time tonight talking about veterans who have problems, and the problems of veterans, and they're very real. But if I could just kind of get a little bit out here, veterans are people, they're Americans. In fact, 9/11 veterans are at the top of the American high school classes. Right? These are the best Americans, and they're not all broken. In fact, the great majority are successful. This is a bell curve, and we love to talk about the ends of the curve, the heroes and the brokens, but the great majority of veterans are just American citizens who have done a job, done it well, come back, had a struggle or two, adapted in some ways, but they come back better, not worse from their service.
You're absolutely
And
right.
it's clear that there's some that need help, and I don't want to denigrate that at all. But I'd like to just say, get to know a veteran. Don't assume that person is a war hero or assume that person is broken, because veterans, especially 9/11 era veterans right now, have to walk this tightrope. Are they going to think I'm a ticking time bomb, or are they going to think I personally captured a platoon of Taliban and I deserve extra awards? No.
Are you guys comfortable with all the times you hear the word hero?
I am uncomfortable with that. I served. I served to the best of my ability. I think I did a good job. I think there are people who deserve that word, and I served with many of them, but it's not me.
It's definitely an overused word.
It's
I mean, it's a
overused.
volunteer force. We chose to go in. We, for whatever reason, you know, service to country, maybe some for education. We looked at it as it's our job. It's a job. I'm not a hero. I chose to go in that line of work. That's what I wanted to do. Doesn't make. You know.
And I get that. So I'm not the veteran. But I think for the families that you all are our heroes. You know, some of us lost family members who signed up to be in the military or who were drafted. And so they're our personal heroes. So I don't know how the term is used, but for us, you are our heroes because not everyone stepped up to protect our freedoms. Not everyone signed up to be there on the front lines or to be displaced and live overseas. And I had a chance to witness how some of the Navy guys lived, and that was interesting.
But I
yeah.
wouldn't subjugate your service right now to what that service is. What you're doing for this community is not in uniform, but it's critically important. And so when we put military service automatically ahead of all other types of service. I think we actually bring it down a peg, right? No.
You're patronizing?
It can be. It isn't always, but it can be patronizing. And if everybody's a hero, nobody is a hero. So I would say people are individuals. You got to deal with people who they are. I would say talk to that veteran. And I would also look at the veteran. This is what we do in our classrooms, and we look at them and say, hey, you got to talk about your service. You can't just sit back and say, no one understands me, and then go have a beer in the VFW lounge.
You're absolutely right. It's that sharing your story piece that's
You've
critical.
got to share.
That these members of the military are just living members of history. And the more that we can share our story and share the ups and the downs, but share that we're normal people. This hero label, it's tough, right? Because it feels that it distances ourselves from the rest of America. But we can just share our story. It's normal people doing normal things, and that's the way that we can help to bring Americans together with our nation's service members.
Let's go back to #StayTunedSTL, see what's going on there.